Good morning, everyone. I would like, first of all, to thank the organizers of this international conference for giving me the opportunity to participate. Let me introduce myself. I am a secondary school Spanish teacher in France, and I am also a part-time PhD student at Grenoble Alpes University. The title of my paper is the following: Proposition of an Edutainment Scenario for Second Language Purposes towards a relevant learning system. I have divided my presentation into 5 main parts. First of all, I will focus on the theoretical framework and the research issues. Second, I will present the context and the objectives. Third, I will present the proposition. Next, I will talk about the evaluation and the implementation, to finish with some results and perspectives. On the one hand, we start from the study that the intimate association of language learning, computer science, and linguistics issues can offer solutions and operational systems to foreign language learners. On the other hand, we start from the study that serious games designed for learning purposes have the potential to provide serious content in a playful way. Thus, our issue lies at the crossroads of two main areas: digital game-based language learning and computer-assisted language learning. Our system has been designed to meet the needs of the learners of Spanish as a second language, mainly the language practice of listening comprehension. The project was aimed at students from a French mixed public secondary school, students aged 14 and 15. The students are between levels A1 and A2 of the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages. Regarding the topic to deal with, we choose the axis saving the planet and thinking about possible futures of the secondary school curriculum. The teachers work with the action-oriented approach and the task-based language teaching approach. Our objective has been to design, develop, and evaluate the relevance of an edutainment scenario for learning Spanish as a foreign language. The main question is the following: to what degree is our system relevant for foreign language learning? In other words, to what extent does our system facilitate or prevent access to second language learning? To answer this question, we propose to focus on the edutainment scenario, which is the system we choose. I will share one definition: the framework of a story to be told, including interactive features that place the player-learner at the origin and center of the action, but also the planned course of activities to achieve one or more pedagogical goals. This structure takes into account the framework of the interactive story and the pedagogical planning. Such a scenario is based on a first stage, the preparation lessons that would start outside the serious game, and the second stage, the immersion phase or the immersion phase with the serious game. Concerning the design model, we have chosen the plot model of language learning game design. This model allows us to follow the steps in an iterative way. On the one hand, our choice to adopt this model is justified because we consider the time of use of the serious game as a complementary stage. On the other hand, because the mediation of the teacher is essential in the institution framework. Thus, we proposed an edutainment scenario more or less adapted to the needs of the Spanish learners. For this purpose, we define authentic documents that accompany 3 class lessons, as well as a session or sessions with a serious game, a debriefing lesson, and a final task lesson. In connection with the program access, we proposed a 3D online exploration video game programmed by Unity. In this first-person perspective, for a duration of 15 minutes. The main mission of the game is to make an inventory of the species of the Amazonian tropical forest in a virtual logbook. To do this, the player must explore the terrain or the field, which is divided into 3 parts. Then perform actions such as searching for a species, taking pictures, releasing animals, and writing down the characteristics of the species that the player hears, which are represented by the little numbers. To illustrate this, let's have a look at some moments of the game.
Hola, soy Anita. Encantada de conocerte. Debes tomar fotos de plantas y animales. Es un vaso de plata. Es una flor silvestre que crece en las selvas tropicales. Es un vaso de plata. Es una flor silvestre que crece en las selvas tropicales. Muy bien, lo has descrito correctamente. ¡Tómale una foto! Es una mariposa búho. Es una especie de mariposa que vive en las selvas tropicales. Intenta corregirlo. Muy bien, lo has descrito correctamente. Muy bien. Intenta corregirlo. Debes liberar al mono de barba roja. Debemos tomar fotos de los animales y liberarlos. Has liberado al coatico, la anillada. Muy bien, lo has descrito correctamente. ¡Tómale una foto! Es un tití. Y de pintura rupestre. ¡Lo hiciste! ¡Has liberado al jaguar! Oye, tienes que rellenar tu registro de campo. Es un jaguar. Es el felino carnívoro más grande de Sudamérica. ¡Has liberado al chigüiro! ¡Tómale una foto! Muy bien. Has tomado todas las fotos de esta zona. Muy bien. Has descrito todas las especies de esta zona. Muy bien, has descrito todas las especies de esta zona. Muy bien, has descrito todas las especies de esta zona. Muy bien, has descrito todas las especies de esta zona. Muy bien, has descrito todas las especies de esta zona. Muy bien, has descrito todas las especies de esta zona. Muy bien, has descrito todas las especies de esta zona. Muy bien, has descrito todas las especies de esta zona. Muy bien, has descrito todas las especies de esta zona. Muy bien, has descrito todas las especies de esta zona. Muy bien, has descrito todas las especies de esta zona. Muy bien, has descrito todas las especies de esta zona. Muy bien, has descrito todas las especies de esta zona. Muy bien, has descrito todas las especies de esta zona. Muy bien, has descrito todas las especies de esta zona. Muy bien, has descrito todas las especies de esta zona. Muy bien, has descrito todas las especies de esta zona. Muy bien, has descrito todas las especies de esta zona. Muy bien, has descrito todas las especies de esta zona. Muy bien, has
Since our work is focused on learning with a technical system as well, we thought to evaluate the relevance and effectiveness of language learning through the analysis of the system design and the learner's engagement in the learning task. We sought to also emphasize the analysis of contextual factors because we have teachers with different methods and heterogeneous students. We therefore used the following 6 criteria through the use of surveys and interviews: language learning potential, meaning focus, learning fit, authenticity, impact, and practicality. Next, we defined the units of analysis. In our case, 3 Spanish teachers, one who is a Spanish native, another who is a French native, and me as a Colombian native. Then we have the learners who tested the system and the developer. Five classes were chosen. The teachers volunteered for the experimentation, received the authentic documents. They prepared the sequences. They prepared the scenario with the chosen authentic documents and decided to keep the same chronology of documents in their sequences. Once the 3 documents were worked on during the 3 sessions, the teachers proceeded to guide the next session with a serious game. Before starting the experiment, the teachers distributed the vocabulary test to the experimental and control groups. The test consisted of describing the species with multiple choices of answers. The experimental group played the game and completed the quiz that is part of the serious game, while the control group only had to complete the online quiz without the serious game. In terms of language learning potential, a large percentage of students answered that they learned vocabulary and cultural elements and said that the game helped them to practice listening comprehension. However, we are cautious because in the same survey, a large percentage also added that their Spanish did not improve. This leads us to question the degree of learning potential of the edutainment scenario. Regarding the focus on meaning, we found that only half of the students understood all of the audio material in the serious game. Regarding the adaptation to the learner, a large proportion of students found the mission easy to complete, but the last part of the quiz difficult to write. This shows us that we have worked more on the adaptation of the comprehension than in writing. Regarding practicality, we found that the teacher's intervention helped the students only for technical reasons, and that playful tasks were easier for the students to perform. In terms of authenticity, only half of the class considered that the game helped them to think about the topic of the sequence, and significantly, students considered that what they saw in the serious game, they will not use outside of the school. However, the question was only asked for the serious game and not for the whole scenario. In terms of positive impact, the students enjoyed the game significantly. This feeling was collected not only in the surveys but also in the interviews. Students appreciate the innovation in the classroom. Thanks to the answers of the students and the teachers, we can provide elements on the conditions in which our edutainment scenario facilitated or prevented the access to the language learning. The school context and the innovative effect of the video game, guided by the teacher throughout the scenario, can prove to be a facilitator of knowledge because there is a practice of the language. However, if the system does not meet the technical and didactic conditions, it can prevent knowledge and even frustrate the students. The teacher is essential for the good development of the edutainment scenario during all the lessons. We would like to further analyze the results with the recorded interviews in order to finish our analysis and flesh out our demonstration with a second iteration that takes into account the first results and correct the areas for improvement. Thank you for your attention.